In this video, I'm going to show you how to create customers and suppliers within KashFlow. Firstly, to create customers, click on the Customers module on the left-hand side of the screen. Once in the Customers module, the first time you create a new customer, you'll have a Create a Customer button across the middle of the screen. Once you've created your first customer, you'll use the Create button at the top of the screen to create new customers. So all we do is click Create a Customer. All you then need to do is type in the customer name. It will automatically create a customer code, but you can override that if you already have some kind of numbering system in place. You've then got a quick link to create a new invoice for the customer straight away, to create a new quote for the customer straight away, or you can link in to just create a new customer from there as well. Or you can just return to the main customer screen. So once you've chosen the option, just click Create a Customer. You'll now see, if you go to the customer screen, that customer is now listed, and you can see the code, their name, their value of business they've done with you, which is including VAT, any outstanding balances there are, and also there are some quick links to create invoices, create quotes, and send statements, rather than having to go into the specific module to do that. Then to create another customer, just hit the Create button at the top of the screen now and follow that process. And again, you can override the code, hit Create Customer again, and we'll see that on the left hand side of the screen now I've got my two customers listed. You can just click into a customer record and start filling out other information. By default, it goes through to the transaction screen, which basically will show you, once you start doing quotes and invoices and receiving payments, etc. on sales ledger accounts, all of that information will be stored on this screen, and you'll be able to search through invoices, quotes and payments, and you'll be able to see the status of those as well. Any information that you get up onto this screen, you'll be able to export, email or print using the various buttons at the bottom there. If you go into Profile, you will then see the customer code and name, and you can start putting in the customer's address. Once you've entered their address details, you'll also have the option to use a separate address for delivery. So if you're sending goods out or anything to the customer themselves, just click that box and you'll have the option to put in a separate delivery address for the client. Once you've entered that information and scroll down, you can enter in all of their contact information. Once you've entered their contact information, if you're storing the client's email address or website address, you'll see that they will create hyperlinks on the right hand side of the screen. So I can quickly click that button to send my customer an email, and if I click the globe sign, that will take me straight through to their website. Once you've entered the contact information, you can either click Update, or if you need to add multiple contacts, you can click Add Another Contact, and in here you can just create additional contacts within that one business. You can then choose who the primary contact is, and also if they're going to receive invoices. So if you email out invoices directly in KashFlow to this customer, you can have multiple people set to receive those if needed. Once you're happy with those settings, just click the Update button, and all of the address and contact details have now been saved within that customer record. If you then go to the Options tab, you can choose if the client is going to receive the default email template, or if you've set other templates up within the software, you can select them. You can also type in a default reference number that you want to appear on their relevant invoices. You can choose where that customer came from if you're using sources to track your marketing activity. You can then select their payment terms. So by default, mine is 28 days. I might have 30-day or 7-day terms with my customers. We can then type in their VAT number. So if they're VAT registered, I can type that in there. Do I want to show that on invoices? And also, if they are VAT registered in another EC member state or based outside of the EC, just tick the relevant boxes within there if you're doing EC sales. If you've got multiple sales codes within the software and you're breaking out your income, you can just choose the drop down and choose their default sales code that you want to use. And if you've got any customized invoice templates, you can then go and choose which invoice template you want to use for this customer, and also the default currency if you're running multiple currency invoices as well. If you're doing discounting, you could set a discount percentage to apply against invoices automatically, and you've also got the option to set up additional custom fields if required. Once you've set those up, just click the Update button. All of those details have now been saved on the customer record, and you can also go to Envelopes and Forms, and you have the option there to set up direct debit mandates, print labels with a customer address on it, etc. if you're sending out letters, and envelope formats as well. That's how easy it is to set up customers and record all of their contact information, etc. onto a customer record. Just repeat that process for every customer you add in. The next step is to set up your suppliers. So if you just go to the supplier module on the left hand side, it looks very similar to the customer screen. Again, when you first set one up, you can create a supplier just by clicking this button here, and you would just go and type in the supplier details, and again it might have a supplier code that's already generated, or you can type one in. We can then go and create that supplier record, and that supplier will be stored underneath the supplier module on the left hand side of the screen. And once you've created your first supplier, just like customers, you can then go and hit the create button at the top of the screen to create your next supplier. Once I've created multiple suppliers, then they will all be listed within the supplier module on the left hand side, and there's a quick link in here to actually go and create purchase invoices directly from the supplier screen rather than having to go into the purchases screen on the left hand side. If you click into a supplier record, you will see that it records all of the transactions exactly the same as a customer record. So all of my purchase invoices will be recorded in here, and I can see what I've paid to my supplier and what payments are due to them as well. If you go to the profile screen, you can see the profile screen is exactly the same as the customer record, so you can then continue to add in their address details that will then appear on purchase invoices automatically, and you can enter multiple contact information in there as well. If you go through to the option tab on a supplier record, you can see you've got the option to add in their bank account details. This is purely for just recording it. So you still have to go and make a direct supplier payment, whether that via backs from your online banking. However, that may occur already, but it's just a way to securely store that those details in there. You can then choose your default payment method that you want to appear on purchase invoices as a default payment method, and you can also put your payment terms that you have with your suppliers within there, and again whether they're registered in another EC state and their VAT number. You can then go and choose the default purchase code that you want to appear on purchase invoices, your invoice templates and currencies as well, and at the top you've also got the option to choose the envelopes for printed documents as well. If you then click update, all of that information has saved and that supplier has been updated. That's how easy it is within KashFlow to set up customers and suppliers, and for any further information, please refer back to the knowledge base or contact support for any other queries.